This old lady, she stopped me. She said, running around, catching up all that light. In Moonlight, black boys look blue. You blue.
That's a scene from Moonlight. The film won Best Picture in the drama category at last month's Golden Globe Awards and has received 8 Oscar nominations, including Best Adapted Screenplay.
Moonlight is based on the story In Moonlight, Black Boys Look Blue by Tarell Alvin McCraney. McCraney is a MacArthur Genius Fellow and was recently named head of the playwriting department at the Yale School of Drama. Quite a CV. Tarell McCraney, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Tarell, I love this movie. I think it's one of the most beautiful, empathetic pieces of cinema I've ever seen. It's also autobiographical. The story about a young black boy coming to terms with his own sexuality and dealing with a variety of complicated relationships. We saw him with his father figure in that scene, but he also has a complicated relationship with his drug-addicted mother. Can you tell us a little bit more about those relationships in your life?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. I mean, it's really important for us in terms of the storytellers to be able to talk about these intimate details that built our lives. And I know Barry Jenkins, the director and the screenwriter, really felt like this was a homegrown project, something we wanted to build from the inside out. And he was really gripped by the story of the complicated, as you said, relationship with an addict mother. Both of our mothers suffered from the ravages of addiction. And so we watched that as children, unable to do anything about it, unable to really have any say in that process, and felt like we needed to tell that story. And so what you're watching, or what that clip we just saw, was something that actually happened. There was a drug dealer in my neighborhood who was very close to me for a time, and we had conversations like that, deep conversations about who we are, who we could be in the world, who people are in the world.
He became a father figure kind of to you.
In a way, yeah, he did.
And how did that happen?
Well, he was dating my mother, so that often helps.
So there was a relationship there, and there is a sort of tenuous relationship in the film as well.
Right, and they had a tenuous relationship in the real world. And one day, I mean, if I can be just frank, the way in which In Moonlight, Black Boys Look Blue came about was one day I came home around 6. I think I was 7 years old, and my mother said, Blue isn't here anymore.
Yeah.
He's not going to be here anymore. You'll never see him again. And I remember that day so specifically because it was the first time in my life that I remember saying, don't be so sure that the good things you have in life will be there for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't be so sure about that. And from that day on, I started sort of counting the moments where, things feel like they're great, but the shoe's gonna drop.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of dangerous thing to keep doing in your life. If you always feel great and then keep in the back of your head that there's something terrible gonna happen.
It may not last, yeah.
Exactly. You never really enjoy the good moments, which is why, you asked me earlier how I felt about the accolades and the nominations. I feel great about them, but in the back of my head, there's this little voice saying, be careful. Be careful.
So are you able to enjoy this?
I am able to enjoy it because I'm able to, doing the work of writing In Moonlight, Black Boys Look Blue was about taking that and framing it and saying, understand how you got here, Tarell. Yeah. Understand how you got to the point where you sometimes can't trust the great things happening in life, but also know that there are wonderful things happening. And I think I have to thank Barry for this because the way in which he shot this film was totally from the point of view of the characters.
Yeah.
But also, he let you see that they were always striving for hope.
Well, and there's such tenderness in the film. I mean, this is a character who lives in a really fractured, complicated, tough world. And at a certain point, he becomes kind of hardened on the outside, but you never lose a sense of his own humanity. And everyone uses the word empathy, but that seems to be sort of the organizing principle in the 3 chapters of the film.
Absolutely. I mean, someone once said, oh, you all humanized these characters. And I don't know if we actually did humanize them. It's just that we never forgot that they were human.
Right.
Yeah. You and Barry Jenkins, who directed the film, you grew up very close to each other, but you didn't know each other.
No, right. We grew up 3 blocks away from each other. We counted the steps the other day. The housing project that we grew up in, Knight Manor, no longer exists. So we could literally, sort of walk back to where we used to live, and if we were there today, we would be literally less than 3 blocks away from each other.
Wow.
But one of the things I know that is important to Barry and both of us is that we had to wait a long time to get to this point.
Yeah.
So we're trying to make sure that, you know, our families in Liberty City and the people in Liberty City know that we shouldn't wait so long to put a camera in the hands of our young people. We shouldn't wait so long to put the pens and hear the stories of those young people growing up in that very complicated and beautiful neighborhood.
Well,
So true.
good luck at the Oscars.
Thank you.
We'll be rooting for you.
Thank you.
Tarell Alvin McCraney.